What's the first traditional thing you do, if you do any, after you put on your gi, you put on your pajamas? What do you do?
And I know so many people pick up these things not because anybody said them. It's just they saw somebody do it.
Right.
So they assumed, oh, I have to do that. You can't talk about traditions. I mean, it's not an unwritten rule or anything like that or unspoken rule. It's just a tradition, right?
Right.
The slap of the bump. You
You
bow
bow.
to it. You
Every
just
time?
bow. Yeah.
Let's start again, and you bow.
Yeah, for sure. Like
okay.
there's like an excessive amount of bowing that just kind of happens. Do you think that aspect was there with the Gracies in Brazil, or is that something that kind of came about in the transition to North America?
So welcome to episode 2 of the Toehold.
Episode 2, talking about unwritten rules and traditions of BJJ and judo.
Yeah.
All the weird, quirky shit that you hear people say.
Yep. And do.
Sometimes. Unfortunately, some of these things people actually take as real things like you should or shouldn't do.
Before we address this, let's go down the personal rabbit hole. What's the first traditional thing you do, if you do any, after you put on your gi, you put on your pajamas? What do you do? Do you do anything that's...
Put on my PJs.
Yeah.
I guess. You know what? I still have the habit of bowing in on the edge of the mats.
I bow in on the edge of the mats too.
I still have that habit. I definitely picked it up from judo because, and like you probably from those traditional Japanese style martial arts or whatever.
Yeah,
like there's that formality.
A lot of bowing in Taekwondo and judo.
Yeah. Judo's, there's tons of bowing.
I don't even think mine is remnants of that. I think I was just being a lemming. I think somebody did it one time and I was like, maybe because I felt like, oh, I should be respectful too, I started doing it. Yeah. It's nothing. I don't go deep bow or anything. It's like just a quick dab, slap the thighs.
Shallow bow.
It's a very shallow bow. Yeah.
Just a little one.
Yeah. That's something I do. And then I say a prayer to Helio Gracie. That's not true.
Yeah.
We do have some pictures up at the gym.
Yeah, we do.
Is Helio up there?
No, I think it's Carlos Gracie Jr.
Yeah.
Is Carlos Gracie Sr. up there? I don't think so. I think it's Carlos Gracie Jr. and Fabio Costa.
Shout out to Fabio Costa.
Yeah.
Who is it that the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu with the bulldog?
The bulldog.
Carlos Gracie?
I'm not familiar with that.
I'm going to pull it up. We have a monitor now over here.
We do.
I'll put it up on the screen for everyone else.
Yeah.
Let me pull it up.
You're going to get to see it. It's going to be good. It's funny you mentioned that, like, about the bowing thing.
Yeah.
And how you, like, I don't know if you were shown it, but you just, like, saw somebody. I feel like so many of these things we're going to talk about today, that's probably just how they came to be. And I know so many people pick up these things not because anybody said them. It's just they saw somebody do it. Right. So they assumed, oh, I have to do that.
Right. Although there are the traditionalists.
Oh, yeah.
Who I've seen, I won't even mention any names, but where I've seen the black belt who's like, now you do this. And if you don't, like, you're kind of an asshole.
Yeah. Some people take it way too seriously.
I'll put that up there. Carlson Gracie.
Is it Carlson Gracie?
Yeah, they got the bulldog.
Yeah. Why'd you bring them up? What was that?
I was just trying to think who that was. Hollywood Mike Sears from Flow Grappling has him tattooed on his hands. Oh. And I was like, who's that?
Oh.
There you go.
There we go. That's who it is.
Carlson Gracie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Should we dig in?
Let's dig in.
Let's dig in. So the first one that I have on the list, slap, bump, roll.
Bump.
I mean, like, you can't talk about traditions. I mean, it's not an unwritten rule or anything like that or unspoken rule. It's just a tradition, right?
Right.
The slap of the bump. Like, does it get any more classic than that?
Now, listen, if you're watching this on YouTube or somewhere where you guys can chime in, please chime in. That's what this is for.
Yeah.
Mike and I are having a conversation. We want to have a conversation with everyone else too. But yeah, slap and bump, always do it.
Yeah.
I always do it. Do you know where it comes from?
I don't specifically. And I heard some other people talking about this on a different show at some point. And I don't know if they even had an answer for it. It's just, it definitely falls into that category of, like we just said. It's one of those things that nobody tells you like exclusively, like we tell the kids sometimes, we're like, oh, you know, slap bump. But as an adult, like you just see people do it. Or more likely, you're going to go to your first class and some dude's just going to reach their hand out to you and you're going to start reaching your hand out and they're just going to smack it and bump it. Right. And you're going, okay, that's what we do. You know what I mean?
Dude, so
it just gets done to you.
What are your thoughts on it?
I love the slap bump. Yeah. I think the slap bump is great. It's like it's a good personal way. It's like, I think it kind of comes, at least the bump part, from the touch gloves thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Boxing. Because you can't handshake, you know, when you got gloves on and you're getting ready to fight, right? So you got to do something. And there was always the glove tap, just the bump, right? But why the combination of slap plus bump? Yeah, just
a little secret handshake real quick.
I don't know.
I will say I'm for the slap bump, and I think from a just a practical standpoint, it's a good, I'm ready, let's go.
Yeah.
And then like you and I are rolling, something happens, someone gets in the way, whatever it is, we have to stop for a second. The ref stops us.
Yeah.
We can both acknowledge, hey, we're good.
I'm ready to go.
Rather than me being like, I'm good, and like you're not, and then all of a sudden.
Right. And it just being all awkward, like, I'm good. You good? Are you good?
Yeah.
Is it good? Are you okay? Like, that's just weird. No, slap bump is great. And, you know, I think some people obviously are assholes and they'll try to take advantage of the slap bump. You know what I mean? Like in competition settings, they'll just, you're going to find that guy every now and then who just is not care about being respectful and you just go slap bump, grab, you know what I mean?
Slap bump, double leg blast.
Yeah. Blast double. Yeah. It's like, come on, you know, like
that happens, but you see that I've seen that happen multiple times in MMA. Yeah. They go to touch gloves and the guy just throws.
Yeah.
Catches them.
Yeah.
Dude, side note diversion. Did you see any of the UFC from this weekend?
No, I didn't.
It was a good card.
I need to catch up more and watch more UFC.
It was a good card. Standout moments. Bryce Mitchell got knocked out so bad by Josh Emmett.
Yeah.
He had like convulsions. That was scary. Yep. That was scary.
Like full rigid
like
body.
A seizure,
it
was scary. He's
that
okay, I believe.
That's freaky, man.
That was scary. I don't know. Paddy Pimblett won, but that wasn't really a surprise. He was fighting a very should be retired Tony Ferguson.
Yeah.
And Sean Strickland got in a fight in the crowd. Yeah.
Good old thug culture.
Sure. Dude, that's another thing we should address sometime. We'll get to that.
Oh, for sure.
Traditions today. I brought up a little, I don't know if this is true. This is like on the level of Wikipedia, but this person says that Maeda brought it over to Brazil and then Gracie incorporated the bump.
Really? So Maeda, the Count Maeda that brought judo to him.
You brought that up in episode 1.
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't.
I don't know if that's
true. I mean, who knows? Tell us, please.
This is great people. Username. This is from Arm Bar Mitzvah. But it's got a lot of likes, so I'm gonna say it's like at least partially true. Gracie incorporated the bump, which increases the leverage of the techniques and allows a small fighter to greet a much larger opponent. The slap, they might not feel the slap if they're big, so you throw the bump.
Yeah,
I don't know how much.
It's maximum efficiency, minimum effort, right? Yeah, it is minimum effort. I guess you compare it to like, so funny story with the slap bump. Like, so I've been really heavy in jiu-jitsu for the last 3 years, right? And I've kind of, not formally done too much judo. Well, I've gone and cross-trained at the gym down in Williamsport,
right?
And I was going with Sensei David down there, and David Agama, shout out, really good guy.
Judo guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, really good. And it was funny because we were doing some randuri, just, stand up, throwing stuff. And every time we would go to start again, I was like reaching my hand out to do a slap bump. But like he's a judo guy, and judo guys don't do that.
I was going to ask you that.
It's a jiu-jitsu
How do you
thing.
Indicate that you're ready in jiu-jitsu?
You bow. You bow
to
it.
Every time?
Bow. Yeah.
Let's start again, and you bow.
Yeah, for sure. Like
okay.
there's like an excessive amount of bowing that just kind of happens. But it's a very traditional Japanese art. So it's just in you. You just do that. But it was funny because every time I would reach my hand out for the slap, he thought we were just going, like I was just reaching to get a grip, and he just gripped me and started going. And I'll be, oh, I'm sorry, I got to stop doing that. You know, so
Oh, man.
now I do this like almost hybrid thing where I like slap, bump, bow, like if I'm doing
really awkward motion.
Yeah, it's getting a little weird, but
Yeah.
no, I like the slap bump. It's cool because it is one of those things that it's just so universal, like worldwide. It's you know, it's like a signature thing of jiu-jitsu, right? Like everybody does it. To my knowledge, everybody does slap bump.
Yeah. You know what else everyone does in jiu-jitsu? The shaka.
The shaka, you're right.
Yeah.
I didn't have that one on the list. That's
usually
good
in
one.
pictures. Like if this were a picture, not a video, we both pose. Yeah.
Yeah. Throw up the shaka.
What's with that?
I mean, I don't know.
Surfer, jiu-jitsu,
the
stoner
hang
culture.
loose, the whole like keep it loose and not serious. You know?
Right.
I mean, jiu-jitsu definitely has that vibe way more than like your traditional martial arts, like judo. Like you know, it's about discipline, respect, things like that, which are good things.
Yeah.
We really need to not forget that. Those are good things.
Yeah.
But jiu-jitsu definitely has that more, you know, whatever, bro. You know, who cares?
I like that. I like that vibe. I read a book. I don't know if I told you about this. I read a book when I first started, probably before or right around the time I first started jiu-jitsu. And it was called A Fighter's Heart.
Yeah.
I'll have to bring this up. Fighter's Heart. And it was basically the story about this guy. He worked on a ship or something out at sea. He decides it's basically a documentary. But he documents this thing. He leaves the ship and he just travels the world learning about all different types of fighting.
Oh, that's cool.
Which is really cool. He just travels all over but they talk about jiu-jitsu and that kind of culture of there it is.
Fighter's Heart, One Man's Journey Through the World of Fighting.
By Sam Sheridan. Yeah, he has a bunch of money from his like job at sea or whatever and travels all around from like MMA fighters in America to literal like cockfights in Thailand, all sorts of wild stuff. And just tries to see what lies at the philosophical heart of it. Fighting. Yeah, which was really interesting. But what reminded me of that was the jiu-jitsu culture. Like he, you know, at one point I think he was either in Brazil or California or somewhere with that surfy vibe, and everyone's just chilling, and they're, you know, they might be chilling at a party and they're smoking weed, and then they're like, get a few rolls in, man. You know, But I like that. I like that aspect of the laid back.
Do you think that aspect of the laid back kind of surfer dude thing was there with the Gracies in Brazil, or is that something that kind of came about in the transition to North America?
That's a good question. I mean,
because like I think of the Gracies back in the day, and like they were just so intense, so serious.
Yeah, they were challenging everybody.
Yeah, all those gym challenge things where they'd either go to gyms and like challenge anybody, or they would, you know, like you see all the videos, the old videos of people coming in and challenging what's his name, the guy from UFC 1,
Hoist Gracie,
right? And he's just like ripping them in his gym. It's like it just feels very serious, very like you know, ferocious. But like, when did it change to just the, you know, chill, whatever?
I don't know. I wonder if there was an
Hang loose,
aspect
bro.
of that, like if, you know, there is some of that surf culture in South America, but I don't.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they seem pretty serious.
Even to this day, a lot of Gracie stuff, you know, they take it quite.
Yeah. Wasn't it Hicks and Gracie
serious.
who said he was like 500-0 or something? Like literally some
it?
crazy number.
Yeah.
Like he was not joking. He was like, I've won
that.
400 fights.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, who keeps track of all that?
Yeah, no.
Gracie's.
yeah.
But it mattered to them, you know?
Yeah, and that's the delicate balance that you kind of touched upon earlier, is like there is that level of respect you kind of have to have for Helio and everyone who brought jiu-jitsu into the mainstream, or, you know.
Yeah, I may not love how they went about it, you know, kind of just like being so aggressive with the way they promoted it, but like you can't deny it. Like it is what it is today because of that reputation they built in it. For better or worse, it just kind of is.
And some of it's funny, but some of it, like, I do understand. Like, like the pictures, like bound to the pictures. That's funny. Yeah, that's funny. We've joked about that, but like
we'll go down that on the list.
Yeah.
But anyways, slap bump, universal greeting of jiu-jitsu. It's an honorable mention. Like you you have to talk about it. It's a good one, and we like it. Keep going.
Yeah,
we want more.
What else you got on the list?
The next one was bowing, and that we kind of touched on a little bit. And I have like 3 things. Like, so at the edge of the mats, that's like one thing, right?
Yeah.
To your opponents or the ref, that was like I was saying, or bowing to the pictures of dead guys on the wall, right? As we just were mentioning. It feels like, especially in jiu-jitsu, with the transition in the modern game away from traditional Brazilian jiu-jitsu and the gi to more modern grappling, no gi jiu-jitsu, people really don't want that. I hear so many comments all the time. People are like, I ain't bowing to dead guys on the wall.
Yeah, and I'm not doing that either. No.
Yeah. And we don't do that at our gym.
We do not. It feels...
Although both guys are still alive, so...
Are they alive? We don't bow
we have no dead guy pictures on our wall.
No, it feels, I mean, without... Not in this exact same way. Like, I wanted to say it felt sacrilegious, but not in the way of, like, any sort of religious context. Just it feels like... It doesn't sit right with me to bow. Yeah. But like, so I will bow at the mats just because I do that, like you do. Another spot where I'll bow is like at a promotion, get a stripe or something.
Yeah,
I'll give a quick bow.
Yeah,
and even to the opponent, like there's also like the just the half bow respect thing. You shake their hand, you kind of give them a little. But
the little head tilt nod.
I don't go full like karate though.
Full prostrate yourself.
No,
no. Like, I mean, like if you're going full Japanese bow, like, I mean, you're going like horizontal with your spine. It's like, I think just the quick little bow is good. Like even when I teach judo, I don't really force bowing that much and stuff. There's a lot of places that will bow to the picture of Jigoro Kano on the wall before class and at the end of class.
We bow in class sometimes. Don't we?
We do, yeah.
I mean, not every class.
No.
But occasionally we'll line up. Everybody does a quick.
Yeah.
Not the full karate bow.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with bowing. I know some people, like, it really triggers them. They're like, I'm not bowing to anybody. Like, no way, man.
It's a nice little show of respect.
That's what I feel.
I draw the line at the silly bows. I'm not going to bow to a picture.
I am not going to get into a kneeling bow. Like, I have to for a kata for judo, but that's it. You're not going to catch me, like, getting down on both knees, like going... Bringing my forehead like 6 inches off the ground and doing a bow. Like, no, I'm not doing that.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's just cultural.
I think it is.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that just didn't translate really super well over here to the Western culture from the East.
Right.
You know, where it really came from. You know, that's very much an Eastern
Speaking of religion, it didn't translate well in religion either, right? Like, so you don't really do a whole lot of bowing at church, but like some more Eastern, or Middle Eastern religions, there is a lot of bowing.
Is there still? Yeah.
My whole family's like Irish Catholic, and they'll do the kneeling at the Catholic Church, which is a similar thing.
Yeah,
but
I guess that's probably why I think people have that aversion probably to bowing. Some people, right? Because it's like they don't want it to be that formal. Let's not turn this into a religion, because then it feels like a cult.
Oh boy, the cult of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, I mean we can. That's a deep hole.
That is a deep one.
It takes a lot more discussion. But I think that's probably where it is. Because it just, when you put it in that setting, it feels very cult-like. Because we're bowing, especially when it's a big group, like a classroom, to like a singular person or a picture of a person who's not even present. Like that really starts to feel...
I mean, without going down that rabbit hole yet, and we may in the future, but like, when it's required of me to bow to a person, like, you will bow to me, like that feels, oof.
Yeah.
That's getting rough.
Yeah, don't tell me. Let me choose.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll show respect.
Right.
I feel like we're both very respectful. We've trained together for a few years now.
Yeah.
But don't tell me. Yeah. Don't tell me what to do.
Yeah. Don't tell me what to do, man. Exactly.
You're not my dad.
Shaka. So bowing. Okay. We did that one. All right. Here's the next one on the list. Professor, which we touched on in episode 1.
Dude,
it's one of those things to me that, like, initially when I was starting in jiu-jitsu, like, it didn't feel weird, but I gotta say, as I've gone on, it just feels super strange, because it's kind of one of those things that's asked. It's not one of those things like people just like choose to call you professor. It's almost like people insist on being called professor.
That's rough for me, man, and almost for the same reasons as insisting I bow to you.
That's exactly it.
Yeah, and the weird thing is too is like, I respect the black belt. Like, we both know how much work it takes to get there, right? And when I'm a black belt, you will bow to me and call me professor. No, but
I won't.
No, but No, but
I'm just gonna stick you in a toe if you ask me to do that.
Shut up, Ryan.
Shut up. Dorito foot crunch.
No, it does feel weird though. Like, and especially like when you're not even especially, but like for where we train, it's kind of like I feel like I can't call Rob professor because it feels like I'm either begging for a stripe,
right? Yeah,
or like because he's my, you're friends with him. You're like,
right.
And again, respect his knowledge, respect his rank, all that. But man,
we're friends. It's a club of
so
guys
weird.
have a common interest that just go and hang out together. Yeah. It's not that
dude. I even
hierarchy thing that starts to feel kind of cultish.
Yeah. Like, secondhand embarrassment. Like,
yeah,
I get that. Like sometimes when somebody who's been there forever was like, "Thank you, professor," and I'm like, "You're so weird." Like, that's tough to deal with.
I just heard you call like the guy coach 3 times last week, and now it's professor. Like
me.
that's like.
I didn't know where you stood on that one.
I don't love it. And it's kind of one of those things, like I have more of a problem with professor. A couple others that I put on here is sensei, right? And coach. 3 terms that are generally you're going to find in martial arts, right?
Yeah.
I don't mind sensei, but at the same time, while like teaching judo, which is typically it's sensei, right?
Right.
I never will tell people to call me sensei. No, I'm not a black belt yet, but even when you're in that teaching position, you're kind of the sensei. It just translates to teacher. That's all it is,
But it has weight on it, like.
Yeah, but it feels to me like sensei feels different than professor.
Yeah.
Even if somebody asked me to call them sensei versus call me professor,
right?
I just feel more inclined to call me
master.
Just call me supreme overlord. Like, where do we draw the line,
dude? Well, there's that connection between religion too. I saw a meme earlier about like priest, and they call him father and stuff.
Yeah,
that's weird for me too.
See, these things kind of feel that way when people start demanding that they be called by some special title.
I'll call him like a spin-off name. Like I'll call a priest daddy. What's up, daddy?
What's up, pops?
What's up, pops? What's up? Yeah, I don't Sensei's okay. It reminds me of like Master Splinter on the Ninja Turtles or something.
Yeah. It does feel a little like
anything. It just, what it is too. I have nothing against it. I think the word it feels contrived.
Yeah.
It feels like I'm trying a little too hard to call you something. That's what it feels like to me.
Or to just kiss ass, right?
Kiss ass, yeah. Coach is cool. That's a great one. I like coach. That's fine.
Coach is great.
Or
coach
their
is good.
name.
And it feels very much like, especially like, let's be honest, like professor is really like the only people who really insist on that is probably Brazilians. Like traditional Brazilian jiu-jitsu guys.
From my experience too, yeah.
Yeah, that's mostly, I'm not going to say it's exclusive, but here in the States, it's kind of like everybody just says coach, It's just kind of coach. If you do hear a professor, it's because somebody's visiting, that's seminar. Or somebody, like we said, is just kind of trying to kiss up a little bit.
If one of those new school, a lot of the new school no-gi guys, if they do a seminar and they come visit, I don't feel like we're going to call them professor necessarily.
No,
you know what I mean?
Call them by their name.
Yeah.
Like, what's up, Joe?
And you're going to be like, thank you, you're awesome, whatever. But I'm not going to. We have a doctor who trains with us. It's funny to call him doctor.
Yeah. Call him doc.
Hello, doctor.
Doctor.
Doctor of black belts.
Doctor.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. What else we got on the list?
What else we got on the list? Asking permission to leave the mats. Whether you gotta use the bathroom or you have to leave early. It feels like one of those things to me that's just like, okay, that's not.
It's pretty second grade.
Yeah, we're not in elementary school. I don't need to ask a grown ass man if I can leave and do my things.
Dude, I had a grown ass man tell me,
or woman,
the opposite of that. Not about leaving, but about if you were late.
Oh yeah,
a lot of schools require that you bow to your knees and wait at the edge of the door
until they allow you to come on,
beckon you in.
Yeah,
dude, listen, I'll come in and I'll be like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm late. I won't cause a disruption, but like,
right.
I will not wait on my knees. That's rough, dude.
Right.
That's
dumb. Yeah, and I've heard of stories like that where people and professors insist on, people, if you come late, you have to stay on the edge until I acknowledge you and allow you to come in if I choose to. And it's like, like, let's just call this what this is. It's a hobby, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
if you go to a ski resort, like, just because, like, you don't have to bow to the guy running
Get
the
on
ski
your knees
lift.
at the bottom of the slope.
Like,
and wait.
Buddy, I paid my lift pass.
Yeah.
Like, I'm here. I'm not going to be disrespectful.
Dude, I won't- right.
I'm just going to do the thing I paid to do.
Also, if they're teaching, I'm not just going to barge in like an idiot. Like, I'm going to just casually wait. Like, if
come
it's
in
quiet, they're
quietly.
talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slip in quietly.
No,
I'm not
that's
going to
too
disturb
much.
anybody.
Dude,
but-
and this is some of the stuff that's like, I mean, this whole topic that you have written down is like, it's some of the stuff it's the old guard stuff that has to go, kind of.
yeah.
Like, the respect doesn't have to go. Respect is great.
No, respect has to
learning
stay.
respect in martial arts, learning like all the good things. That's
Yeah.
one thing. But like,
But it's the form in which we show respect that needs to change. The
Yeah.
way it looks, the way it's conveyed, that needs to change from
Yeah.
these old ways and stuff like that.
yeah,
I mean, don't get us wrong. We love jiu-jitsu. It's great. It's
Mhm.
it's awesome.
Yep.
And some of these things are just like,
pet peeves.
yeah, they're just these things that
Right.
are still around. And I bring it up because of what we talked about in episode 1, which is like, what do you expect when you're starting? And this is the thing. Like, I'm sure you know, like, I went through this. Like, you hear these things, you hear other people doing them, and you don't know when you're beginning, like, am I supposed to do that too? I guess I will. I don't know.
Right.
I don't want to be rude,
Right.
you know, but it can come from a place like that. Like, we need to just like lay these things out there and tell people who are starting and getting involved in this, like, no, that's stupid. Don't do that.
Yeah, that's rough. That's
Like,
rough.
if other people want to do that, it's fine, whatever. But you don't have to do that.
Well, and there's, you're not going to do that in wrestling,
right.
which
Oh,
is a
for
very
sure.
similar grappling
Yeah.
sport.
None of that stuff happens there.
No, that'd be so weird.
Oh, it'd be weird. Yeah.
It'd be super weird.
Yeah.
On the other hand, like, that was all you knew in judo. That was all I knew in taekwondo.
That's true.
So like, and there was a level of personal respect for that traditional form,
Yeah.
like format, whatever.
You know, that's a good point. And I gotta say, like, without poo-pooing too much on this, is like, I used to do a lot of these things when I did train judo, and I didn't have a problem with it.
Right.
Because I respected the shit out of my coach, my sensei. I
Right.
called him sensei.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to.
You think it's because modern jiu-jitsu is changing so much?
I really think it is. Yeah.
Right.
The landscape
Like, those
has changed.
traditional martial arts have been the same for, hundreds and whatever, sometimes thousands of years, whatever. But like, jiu-jitsu's changing. Hence why we didn't do this podcast just about jiu-jitsu. Like jiu-jitsu is really quickly becoming submission grappling.
Yeah.
I mean, I know some professionals, like, I don't know them personally, but like, who refer to themselves, they don't even refer to their rank, like on social media. They won't be like brown belt this school, but
Right.
they'll just be like professional athlete or
Or they'll
submission
list
grappler.
their wins or their accolades,
Right.
right? Like 2-time ABGJF, whatever. Like, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It is interesting. I do think there has been a shift, and I think that is why, especially like in this country, it's hard for judo to grow because it does latch on to, this is the way we do it, and it's not super flexible or willing to adapt to the changing times, new generations, and stuff like that. So
Right.
I think that's why maybe this freer, hang loose kind of vibe from jiu-jitsu is what's attracting more and more people, because jiu-jitsu is getting really, really big and popular.
Really big.
Like you said, no-gi submission grappling is getting really big and popular.
Yeah.
ADCC. Heard of
ADCC.
it?
It's showing up
Yeah.
it's showing up on mixed martial arts cards, which I think is super cool.
Yeah.
Because it is part of a mixed martial art. Like, it's definitely not just jiu-jitsu anymore. And then like, you'll see one championship or even local promotions put what do they call it? Like a super fight.
Yeah.
Like, it'll be like, maybe there'll be whatever kind
Yeah.
of, and then an MMA fight, and then this super fight, which is the grappling match, and then another MMA. I think that's awesome.
I think it's great, and it's a good way to get the exposure out there and stuff.
Yeah.
But I guess like to that point is like, I didn't mind doing those things when I was training because I had respect and for my coach, and I just wanted to do that. But it feels like the day is different, and I know that myself, like, I'm never going to tell somebody you have to treat me that way. I would never tell somebody to have
That's
to. If
rough,
they choose
yeah.
to, like, if somebody calls me sensei, I'm like, look, you don't have to. You can just call me coach. But if they continue calling me that because they choose to, I'm not going to stop them. But
Right. No.
like,
no.
if somebody else picks it up because they did it, I'm going to be like, you don't have to call me. That's fine. Like, you
Yeah.
just call me Mike. It's cool.
Yeah.
Like,
No, dude. And so like, you taught for a long time, and then like, I trained with you a lot. And then like, there were times where one of the the black belts wouldn't be there, whatever. And there was several times where I was the highest ranking belt there.
Yep.
And so I taught a few classes, and it was an interesting dynamic because, there was still respect. Like it was like these white belts, these new students or whatever would still treat me like, with respect. I was teaching them. They wanted to learn. They weren't like, oh, you're only this belt or you're only. So like, I think naturally, like for the most part, people aren't going to come in like, they came in because they do want to learn.
Right. Yeah. The respect is still there. It's just like, we don't need to demand it. You know what I mean? That's a slippery slope to cultish behavior.
Yeah.
Right. Whenever you're trying to establish like certain positions of
even for me as a
whatever.
grown man, when I'm told by anyone, like my bosses at my job, the government, they tell me something that I think is stupid, I'm like, I'm not doing that.
That's dumb. Yeah.
So like, I think it fosters some bad feelings if you demand.
Yeah. Next on the list, I had can't cross train at other gyms. This is one of those things that sometimes it's not really unspoken. Sometimes it's flat out spoken. And like, I've heard some stories. Like I haven't experienced it per se because we have a pretty chill gym where people are, really welcome from wherever you come from, whatever you got going on. So we don't have these things going on, but I know people who have had these experiences where you go cross train at another gym for a weekend because your buddy is into jiu-jitsu and he's like, hey, come check out my gym, go to open mats, or God forbid there's a seminar that you go to and then you come back and they say, you went and trained over there, didn't you? And you're like, you're not allowed to do that.
Yeah.
Like why?
That's the, I don't know how to say it because I don't speak Portuguese, but the Brazilians have a word. Creante, yeah.
Yes. There's a whole term.
It's a pejorative term roughly meaning traitor.
Yeah.
Like, so at our gym, we don't experience that. I know a bunch of people, shout out to Shay, right? She trains at a lot of gyms.
Yeah.
We go to whatever seminars we want. We do whatever. But
we welcome inputs, new stuff.
I have seen that. And it's, it's not always just with the very formal old school pajama gyms.
Yeah.
Like, I've read stories and we won't call them out yet. Once we're bigger, we'll call them out. We'll start some beef.
Yeah.
But, it's a new podcast. We'll ease our way in.
Play nice for now.
But some of these new gyms, even like no-gi modern jiu-jitsu gyms have that policy. Like, I've heard of people being kicked out or not welcome back because they went and trained with the enemy or whatever.
It feels very much like it's just an insecurity thing. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't understand it really.
It's got to come from this massively insecure spot. Like, are you really telling me like, okay, there's one of two reasons. Like, they either claim trade secrets in their strategy and techniques, or I don't know, like, I guess that's really it. That's usually the thing that I've ever heard. Not that there's a real good reason to it. It's just that's the excuse that's used. But it feels like, okay, you really think like you have some magic thing that nobody else is ever going to figure out. What happens when you go to a tournament and you use it? Somebody's going to see it.
Yeah.
Like,
well, it's not just that anymore either, right? It's like there's cameras everywhere. There's social media everywhere. So if you're a relatively big name in jiu-jitsu, or like, you don't have to be super famous, but if you're a high level competitor, there's tape of you out there, so to speak,
somewhere.
If not, like,
at least the person you grappled against at that tournament is gonna have seen it.
Sure. Yeah. So that's
sure, you're not telling them every detail of what you're doing, but like, come on, people, let's be real. Like, this isn't 1990 anymore where there isn't like easy access to see everything. You know what I mean?
For
like,
sure.
It's just silly, but what it does is it creates that if you're going to be that particular about not allowing your stuff that you've developed and find work to go out there and help the rest of the community of grappling to get better, you can expect to just go ahead and die off because nobody's going to come to you and help feed you when somebody invents something crazy like a buggy choke and you've never seen it before. And now all of a sudden the thing you're so proud of that you're like holding near and dear to your heart because it's what makes your team win, all of a sudden you suck and you can't win because you were just being a closed off asshole. Like, isolationism doesn't have a good history of, working out.
No.
Just saying.
I can't even, I've been sitting here trying to think of a great example of like how I could justify that. I mean, if it was like the weekend before you and I are going to have a match and then I come to your gym and I'm like looking and spying. Like you might be like, bro, I'm gonna go train over here, whatever. But
who does that?
Yeah, it's silly. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, that's just, it's dumb. It's one of those things like we can't spend much time on talking about because it's just so stupid.
Yeah. No,
You know what I mean?
and as both of us have trained other disciplines and stuff and enjoy accumulating knowledge of all sorts, but you know, specifically in this case on grappling, it would be silly not to take opportunities.
Right.
To learn.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Moving on.
Moving on.
Next one. Okay. You can't ask a higher belt to roll.
Oh yeah, they have to ask you.
You heard this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, like you have to wait for the purple belt to ask you to roll. You have to wait for the black belt to ask you.
Yeah.
You can't ask them.
Yeah, don't make eye contact with me.
Your thoughts on this?
No, if I don't care at all. I'd love to say something like some smart ass thing, but no, like.
Can you imagine like some white belt honestly like just wants to learn, is curious, comes up to you and asks, can you imagine any way like that you would
I go,
be like,
how
hell no,
dare
get out of
you?
my face.
How dare you? Go roll with that other white belt. No, I have heard that, and it's
will
silly.
not soil
Listen,
my
if
hands
I don't
with
want to
you.
roll, I'm gonna like make up some half-cooked excuse. Like you're like, Ryan, you want to roll? I'm like, dude, real sore, real tired. I'll do a flow roll with you. I've done that before.
Yeah.
I'll just do it, and it's like, you know, it may not be that big a deal, except I didn't get a good night's sleep. But no, just be honest.
Yeah,
Just ask and be honest.
Just ask. And if you're in a good gym, like no upper belt is going to have a problem with this. They're not going to be like, you're not supposed to do that.
No. I'm
Like,
going to test that theory
They're
out.
just going to be like, yeah, not right now. I'll get you in a couple or
Next
something
time there's
like
a
that.
seminar and there's a visiting professor, I'm going to be like, bro, you want to roll? I'm going to call him bro too. Bro, you want to roll?
Bro, call him bro. Yeah, I like that. Call me bro.
See what happens. Yeah,
Just
yeah.
call me bro. Coach bro.
Yeah, no, another insane one.
Yeah, that's
Get out of here.
so obviously silly, but
Yeah.
it happens,
No,
and
for sure.
you have to talk about it because new people come in and there's that desire to do good, to look good in your coach's eye. You want, like, people want to please a lot of the time, and they just want to be a good part of the culture they're coming into.
Yeah.
And they may have heard it as a joke online, or maybe they saw it somewhere on a Reddit post and they took it seriously.
Yeah.
You know, like that's how these things get out of hand and become things that you have to talk about because
it reminds me of the
people do
one. I don't know if you wrote this down. It reminds me of the one where you're supposed to turn away.
I did write that
Did you
down.
write it down?
Let's talk about
Okay.
that one. Yeah, the one.
So if you go to fix your stuff, you go to tuck your kimono back in, which I never call kimono either, by the way.
Nobody
it's all
does.
a gi to me.
It's a gi.
Let me tuck this gi in. Let me tuck this bad boy in. But you're supposed to face the wall, face away.
Yeah.
Probably don't face the
Can't
pictures
face
of
your
the dead
instructors.
guys.
Yep. Can't
Just
face your professor. No.
And listen, if your junk's falling out or if your pants are falling, you know, dude, by all means, turn around.
Yeah.
No one wants to see that. But like, yeah, no, that's I would almost get it, but like, if it's a decency thing.
Yeah, but it's not.
Sure. But no, turning away to tie your
face
belt.
away. You cannot see me tie my belt. Maybe they're afraid they're going to give away a trade secret belt tying technique.
Dude, how did you? This is a little diversion. How did you learn to tie your belt the very first time?
I was probably shown the first time, but to like actually tie it like good.
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah, me
for
too.
Sure.
Oh, I wish I could find the video.
It was. I remember the video that I found. It was a Rener Gracie.
Mine might have been too.
And he was there talking about like all the like 5 different ways to tie it. It was like Hollywood style or
I didn't
or just
see
like
that.
the
That's
quick
in-depth.
tie. And then like I do what he calls like the super lock, which is most people who watch this, you're going to be familiar with the super lock. It's the one that looks nice and it's going to stay put like the whole class.
I think mine was this video.
But some people intentionally don't tie their belt well so that it does come off.
No, it wasn't this one, but it was like this. Let me see if he does it the way I do it.
We'll have to find that one that I know. The one that I found was the Rener Gracie.
So this
one.
is.
Oh, it's that one on the side right there. That's that the thing.
Is that the one?
Yeah, I think that's the one.
12 years ago, Rener Gracie on how to tie the belt. So
see, 12 years ago when I started.
Mine was similar to this one. I'll put it up on the screen where you start in the back.
Yep.
And then you wrap it around twice.
Over top of
tuck
itself,
it through,
right?
poke it
so you
back
don't get
down.
that weird twist on the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
that's how I still tie my belt.
What a strange time to be in jiu-jitsu. And that's why I think so many people are getting so good so quick. For sure, it's why I got, like I took a long break of years and years. And when I came back, like not to toot my own horn, but like I got, for me, not saying I'm better than anybody, but I got good quick. And it was for sure because of access to the internet.
Oh, yeah.
Just like we spoke about how in the 90s, you couldn't just, you had to order stuff and get tapes and watch.
You had to go
DVDs,
to Brazil to go learn from the person who had the knowledge. Like, you had to physically go and like pay that person and like ask them, like, please show me your stuff.
Yeah, you can legit just.
It's
how I got so good at tying belts, too.
Yeah. And that's another subject we're going to touch on in another episode is how do you discern from the shit on the internet and the stuff that is actually worth you watching and even trying?
That's a whole episode.
There's a lot of stuff out there that is going to hurt you.
Yeah, we will address that too. And Mike has a lot of good thoughts on that. And I've watched a ton of stuff too. So I have some thoughts on that as well. So, but that'll be another episode.
That'll be a good one.
We're going to address internet jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. A follow-up to what we were saying about like not facing like your professor, or like I see like the instructor even like won't face his class while he ties his belt.
Right.
But like I've seen some stuff too where like, I don't know, it feels like it's like a black belt thing, but like they won't step on the mats if they're not completely tied up and like ready to go.
Okay.
I've seen people be very particular about that, and I'm like, it's kind of nice, I guess. It's a little bit respectful. Like, I'm coming ready, I'm prepared, not like a slob, but like, so what? I mean, if I have my gi top on and I just got my belt slung over my shoulder, I'm going to go just do a quick little bow, get on the mats, and I'm going to finish tying it up there while I talk with my buddies. You know, like, why am I going to waste time hanging out with my friends?
There's plenty of times where I'll
in the locker room so I can tie up and be all presentable and nice.
No. We'll go talk on the mats. Yeah. Also, like, you know, multiple days, the kids class is going on right before the adults class.
Yeah.
I'll just carry, if it's really warm or something, I'll carry my gi out and just wear my fighty tighties.
Yeah.
Until it's time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've gotten to that point, like you've seen me in the winter time when it's cold, like because our gym gets really cold in the winter. I will come out in my gi pants and my rash guard, and then I put my hoodie back on over top.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's
sometimes
a good one
I'll teach half of class that
It's a good way to get warmed up.
Yeah. It's like, but it's super chill and it's comfy. And it's like, man, we need to do hoodie jiu-jitsu.
Nothing wrong with that. On Saturdays at open mats, a lot of times I'll put my stuff under a full sweatsuit. But you know who else does that? Other grappling, like wrestlers. Like when I have a hoodie on and sweatpants, I feel like I'm going to wrestling practice or something.
You need the tearaway pants. Rip them, buttons fly.
Dude, but underneath, my belt is tied perfectly. Like, holy shit, that guy's ready.
That's the next level.
Yeah.
We're not at that level.
No, maybe soon.
No. All right, next one. Let's see. Can't ask higher belt to roll. Yeah, actually, you hit. The next point was that not face your professor when tying your belt.
Yeah, I just thought of that one.
And, okay, can't say, this follows up to the other one. Can't say no when an upper belt asks for a roll.
Oh, that's terrible.
Bullshit.
Inappropriate.
I'm going to, bullshit.
Yeah, no.
Anybody tells you that, go find a different gym.
Yeah, that's borderline bullying is what that is.
Red flag. If somebody comes up and asks you, hey, let's roll. You go, no thanks, I don't want to right now. And they go, no, you don't have a choice. I asked you to roll. You have to roll.
No way, dude.
Leave.
Yeah.
Like that's there's very few absolutes here. Like that's one of those things that's like ultra red flag.
Yeah.
Leave. Let me put it this way, because this one sets me off, because you don't have to, and it kind of touches on the point like you said before, like you don't have to come up with an excuse to say no to a roll.
Right.
You can refuse any roll at any time with anyone for any reason, or get this, here's the kicker, no reason at all.
Right. No thanks.
No is a complete sentence, people.
Yeah.
If you don't feel like rolling, don't. You're a paying customer.
Yeah.
You're doing a hobby.
That's roll consent, dude.
Yeah. You're doing a hobby that you enjoy and you just want to do. If you don't want to do it, then don't.
Couldn't agree more.
Nobody should ever pressure you into having to roll.
Yeah.
Period.
No, there's nights. Yeah, I've already addressed this. There's nights I don't want to roll.
Yeah.
There's nights where I already rolled twice with two monsters. I'm done.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Whatever the reason is, you just don't feel like it.
Maybe there's just
You're nervous. Maybe you have anxiety that night.
Yeah.
Don't roll.
You don't need to tell somebody.
Yeah,
You don't need to justify it.
Ridiculous.
That's an easy one. But it's one of those things that you will hear on the internet and people will say it.
I've heard
you're
of
like,
it.
oh, I can't say no to him. He asked me. I have to. No.
Imagine that in life. Get out of here.
This is what weeds out the assholes in the gym. Because if you're an asshole and nobody wants to roll with you and everybody keeps saying no, you're not going to have any rolling partners. You're not going to get any training in.
Yep.
So you're going to either figure it out or you're going to be gone.
Yep.
You know, like
take care of each other out there.
Exactly. Take care of each other. And it's when you do stuff like this that allows people to be just, you know, to allow jackasses to just keep going and give them this power, you know. It's just enabling bad stuff. Like, don't do that.
It's warm in here. Are you warm?
A little bit. Yeah.
I'm gonna open this
window. Of course, I have a hoodie, but yeah. While you're doing that, I'll queue up the next one. Yeah. We're flying through them here. How are we doing on time? We're doing good.
Oh, we're doing good. Yeah.
Okay. So let's get to some more positive things here again. Lining up in rank order. What are your feelings on this?
I don't think it's necessary. I think that's a tough one, especially all the shit I talked already, huh?
It's an interesting one.
Yeah, it's interesting. It sets a precedent. It lets people know, you know, more than like belittling people who are on the far side of the line. It also kind of lets people know, like, especially if you're not wearing gis that night, if you're doing no gi, kind of like you can kind of know what you're getting into a little bit, which is cool, I guess. I don't know, man, because I want to say it doesn't really bother me, but at the same time, like after all the shit I talked about, all the traditions and stuff, I don't think it's necessary. How's that?
Yeah, I can agree with that. I don't think it's absolutely necessary, but one thing is, like, I think it's kind of cool because I remember, you know, when I was on that end of the line with the white belts and the blue belts, right? And I could always look up the line and you see these guys that, let's just face it, like when you're in jiu-jitsu, like you look up to these guys, like, or these women, and, you know, people that are just amazing. And you're like, wow, like, I'm going to be there someday. It almost like gives you a target. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you articulated it better than I did.
It can make a motivation for some people, but it can also
be intimidating.
It can be belittling. You can be like, oh no, get over there. Get over there, white belt. Go away from us. You're not allowed to be near the rest of us, you know.
But also then you can be like, oh, I'm not rolling with that guy down there.
Right. Like, okay, that's the one to watch for.
Yeah, there's pluses and minuses. I think, again, if you do it nicely and you do it like, but also, like, again, I can't say that like you should have to do it either. Like,
right.
But I can see that's like I can see both sides of that one.
I can see it, and I think what that one, the differentiation of what makes it good or bad is the culture of your gym.
Yeah.
If you have a good culture where it's very loving, it's a family place, like it's like you feel like a family to each other, like it's fine, it's gonna be okay, and everybody's gonna have a pretty good time of it, and they're gonna feel like I'm next to my big sis and my big bro, and I wanna keep moving with them as they move down that line. Like, I want to keep showing up because I want to stick with my buddies, you know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see the people on the other side, and I'm gonna try to pull them up. Sure. You know? I'm gonna try to bring them along and say, hey, come on, man, throw an arm around the shoulder and say, come on, I'll show you the ways. Like,
two things that you made me think of. One's a question, one's a statement. The statement is the moving along with someone is great, and you have to remember that, like, it's easy. I've seen people get frustrated. I try to not get frustrated. I just enjoy it, but like I know it can be frustrating. I see people get frustrated and they're like, man, I'm not getting any better. Like this person is getting, like, no, you're all getting better. So like if it feels like you haven't gotten better, it's because everybody got better with you. So like, you know, it wasn't like just you progress and now you can beat this guy.
Right.
Everybody.
And if you're not progressing, it can lead to rank anxiety.
Sure. Yeah.
Where you're like, well, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
Or why are they getting promoted? And it's like, it can create bad stuff. And again, if you have a bad culture, it's like that.
So that leads to my question, right? Bad. This is a slight interjection, but on topic. What are the just we don't have to go down deep on this, but what are a few things like at our gym or, you know, things we've done that makes you feel like that's a good culture, that's a good gym family? Like for me, like I'll just throw one out there, like the yearly or bi-yearly, I guess, dinners. I think it's great to get together, and I don't love the ones where we have to travel. But like if we're just like the Christmas one we just had recently, everybody brought a dish to pass, got a few rolls in, got a few foods, got a bunch of food.
Right.
And like just chilling at the gym, having a picnic inside, dude. Yeah. So good.
That's the stuff that leads to good culture, is because like at that event you're talking specifically, I got to catch up with people that I didn't cross paths with in training nights.
Right.
And then we weren't training, so I actually got to sit there and talk to him for like 20 minutes and be like, how are you? What's going on? And then I feel connected. Like, these are my friends, not just my friends. They're my family now, you know?
Right.
Like, those are the things that make good cultures. Like, when you like the people that you roll with just because you like them. You know what I mean? Just because like it's the group that you would want to hang out with even if you weren't doing jiu-jitsu.
Or conversely, like I can probably speak for both of us, but like you and I work a lot and we have day jobs and families, and it's like you don't have time as an adult a lot of times to do that sort of thing. Like, so like if your workout / hobby can also be like, that's when I hang out with buddies. That's when it's a social thing. Like, it makes it so good because I'm not in a knitting club anymore, and I'm not like,
I don't go to bars.
I don't go to bars either.
Yeah.
So like when you can do social stuff with other adults, or that's kind of like, definitely.
And then you find people who get you or going through the same things you are in life. And that just makes it easy. And it's not like, sometimes you'll bond more over the stuff that you don't do in jiu-jitsu. But the fact that you do jiu-jitsu gives you yet another thing to just kind of really cement it.
Right. I mean, and on the simplest level, like, you wouldn't have met those people otherwise.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
You and I wouldn't have met. Where would we met? Walmart, maybe.
So many of my friends, good people in my life, have come from the relationships made in jiu-jitsu.
Yep.
And having those, not having a lot of these things we talked about that make it icky or make it like very hierarchical, right? That make it so you don't feel like you can be friends with these people. Yeah. It's a level playing field at our place. And I think one of the things, like, for me that makes it good culture is just Rob, our instructor, Rob Smith. He's such a great guy. The thing I've always known about Rob is he is a collector of what you call like Ronins, right? Samurais without a master, right? Just
love it.
People who don't have a home. Like, if he ever finds somebody who no longer has a gym or is passing by or has just moved the area, he just like opens arms and just, come on, you're part of us. Yeah. It's not even a question. It's just, you're with us.
Right.
And you can see this at some places. Like, we've gone to tournaments and we find somebody who has no coach. Me or Rob are going to sit there and coach that person.
Yeah.
And we're going to shake hands. We're going to talk to him. We're going to hype it up. Like, I see a match going on and I see some kid that could have thrown somebody 2 times. I'm going to find him and be like, bro, good job on your match. It was amazing. But hey, can I help you with something real quick? That's the stuff, like, that's the culture we have because Rob has given that to us. You know what I mean? He's just been always that collector of people that will bring anybody in. And it's what kind of makes us, like, I'm not saying we're like world class. It's just like we've got some really good people. Yeah. Because it's that mixing pot of, it's not over stagnated. It's like every time, like, you're going to find somebody new come in,
We'll put a picture of Rob up there. There's Rob with Joe Lozon from the UFC.
There you go.
He met him, he said he met him 20 years ago or something.
Yeah.
And ran into him at the tournament this weekend up in Boston.
Nice.
Pretty cool.
Rob's
Rob's great. And, the other thing I was going to say too is, like, another positive thing with the gym family is when you are an adult, and if you have a family like we do, being able to incorporate all the family, the gym family, your family, bring the kids,
my kids go and hang out with your kids. Like, they were so stoked for that party because they're like, hey, we get to see our friends.
And again, it's because it's a good culture. Like, if it was asshole culture, if it was like, oh, you can't do that, can't bring children, but like,
I'm not even going to bring my kids to that place because I don't want my kids to learn that kind of behavior.
And you're not going to go because it's like, oh, well, I can't. There's plenty of times I wouldn't have been able to go if I couldn't bring my kids.
Right.
Yeah. So
good point.
Gym culture.
Good point.
Yeah.
Couple more. Os.
Now
the Os.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but that extends beyond jiu-jitsu.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
That comes is karate. Is that where? I mean, it's old. It's
old.
Been around.
I've looked this up before too, years ago.
But it is one of those things that
the Office of Strategic Services. That's not the one.
Nope, that's not it. OS BJJ. Yeah, jiu-jitsu. There you go. What does OS mean? And I've looked up sometimes, and you will find different definitions. Like, I've not found a universally accepted one that I've found. I may be wrong. There's probably something.
Dude, for me, it's like the secret handshake with jiu-jitsu, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like, that means let's go. That means good practice.
Yep.
That means, good to see you. And OS is kind of the same way, right? Like
Yeah.
at the end of practice, you OS everybody up. You like,
Yeah.
I don't really use it too much outside of that context. Like if
Yeah.
I see you in the street, we're probably not going to slap bump and say OS.
Oh, there's people, man, out there.
But yeah, I mean, but it's the
people that
secret code,
smother
dude.
you in OSs. They try to OS you to death.
I had a great aunt like that.
we
Dude.
all, we all know the guy on the training mat that like you're getting a choke sunk in and he's just like OS. As
Yeah,
he's like going out.
The origins of OS or OSU are not known exactly. Two possible meanings from the Japanese. Well, you're better at Japanese than me. Can you see that? Hold on, I'll make it bigger.
Onegai shimasu.
Yeah, which is a polite invitation like please if you will, or oshi
Yeah.
shinobu,
Mm-hmm.
which means persevering under pressure, basically.
When pushed or
Yeah.
enduring under pressure. Yeah, so that definitely resonates to my understanding of what OS is.
Yeah.
That's one that I didn't get from judo. That came about when I got
When you
involved
got
in
to
jiu-jitsu.
jiu-jitsu.
I was like, what is this OS
Along
that
with the
people are
shaka?
saying? Yeah. I
Yeah.
was like, what is this OS people are saying? But it is like
It's a good
to
secret
me,
ingredient.
OS feels a more like a closing
Yeah.
to me because we do it at the end.
Feels like good job.
It's like
Good work.
Good. Thank you for coming. I appreciate
Yeah.
you were here. Like we had good times today. Like
We earned an OS
OS,
today.
yeah. Like it's like saying cheers to
Yes,
me. It's
yeah.
salute, cheers.
Same. I feel the same way. I wouldn't say it off the bat, dude. I don't know if we OS tonight, bro. Like I can't.
Right.
I'm not gonna greet you with the OS.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess that's I never thought of it that way. That's a good way to correlate it. Cheers. Like imagine a situation. If you wouldn't say cheers right now, don't use OS. But if it's a good occasion,
yeah.
you're with friends, good times have had, OS it up.
Yeah. Maybe, dude, hypothetically, you meet a fellow jiu-jitsu man in your travels, you're on vacation, you talk for a few minutes, you're heading out, give him an OS.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah. That's a cool one. I have no problem with OS.
I'm down with OS.
I have a problem like I said, when people like overuse it like crazy, like they'll like you're in a live roll, like a 3-minute match, and they have said OS to you 20 times.
I haven't had the Osman yet.
You haven't?
No.
You have not experienced jujitsu until
I gotta roll with
one
an
of those
Osman,
people
dude.
that like just is just OS, and you're like, yeah, okay, man, let's just roll. Like,
Yeah.
like
Wow.
we don't need to do this. It's cool.
Oh,
Anyways.
dude, listen, I'm going to tell you this. This is something I'd say off air, but I'm going to forget about it.
Yeah.
We've talked about upcoming episodes. Mike's very organized. I'm very on board, but like my thoughts are scattered. But like we've been talking about some of the things we're going to have. We're going to have some guests. We're going to have Rob on, who we've
Yes.
talked about several
Need
in
to
both
have him on
episodes now, obviously, because he's our professor. And
He's our guy.
we got an episode coming up about the internet and jiu-jitsu, its effects, its positive and negative effects. But another one I was thinking of too that we'll have to get to is addressing all the witch doctor stuff in jiu-jitsu from steroids to ice baths,
for sure,
from essential oils to whatever it is, and some of it I don't think I don't think it's all negative. I don't think a lot of it does much. Obviously, steroids does, but we need to address extracurricular,
the fringe stuff.
Yeah. I want to address that. I've got a
That's a
CBD
good
order
one.
coming. It just popped up on my email,
Oh, there you go.
and it made me think of that kind of thing.
That's true.
You know
That
what
is
I mean?
a good topic. Yeah.
So we're gonna address that too. So
we'll note
definitely,
that one.
if this is YouTube, get on the subscribe. If it's Spotify, I don't know how Spotify works.
You can subscribe. You can
Add us.
follow the podcast
Okay.
on there.
Yeah,
Yep. And that way you get notified.
Shoot us a message, a comment. We'll discuss it.
I got a few more.
Let's
you
go.
Want to hit a few more?
Let's hit a
We
few
got
more
time?
before we call it a day.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. We'll do this one quickly. Uniform policies.
In what context?
Just like you must wear this uniform. I might be pissing some people off right now, but
no.
like you guys,
listen,
people know me, know I'm the black sheep, and I will wear my black gi.
Listen, Mike, tell them what the best combo is. We were just
It's black gi with a purple belt.
Black and
I'm
purple,
sad
baby.
that I'm now a brown belt.
yeah.
'cause
No, that's not true either.
It is.
I'm so bummed I'm a
I
brown
like
belt.
that purple.
The purple and black does look nice with the gi, though.
I don't know if I'm gonna buy a brown rash guard. I don't know. It's not a great color.
I'm
gonna keep rocking the purples underneath.
I have not purchased a new ranked rash guard since I was a white belt.
Yeah.
Sometimes I still wear my white belt ranked rash guard
Yeah.
sandbag.
You know what? Just buy the black belt one. Just buy that and just wear it. Who
and
cares? It's a black rash guard.
Dude, and
nobody's going to be like, oh, he's posing as a black belt.
No, the only time it's weird, I don't care about that. The only time it's weird though is like when someone buys a ranked rash guard that's completely off.
Yeah.
Like if you're a blue belt and you buy a brown one, like it's a little weird, but maybe you just bought a brown, maybe you just like brown.
Some people,
I don't care.
I'm not going to name names, but I have had some new students that have come in and they like bought a blue belt because they liked the color and they just thought that you could just pick whatever color you liked.
Right. So how do you feel about that? No, it's funny, and I've seen it with brown. That's why I brought up brown. I've literally seen a white belt wearing brown.
With rash guards, I don't give a shit. Like wear whatever rash guard you want. I mean, as long as it's not overly offensive in a family-oriented place, fine.
Right.
Wear whatever color you want for rash guard. I don't care. The belt, that has some meaning to it. You know what I mean? Like, it just needs. You don't need to embarrass the person. You just be like, that's not. You need to start at a white, and then you earn your blue. You earn purple.
Listen, there's only 5 belts.
You earn it. You know what I mean? Yeah. You don't buy it. You earn it. That, I think, is the thing of it. But, like, rash guards, who cares? If it's clean. Like,
dude, I personally, like, I have yet to find the perfect rash guard. You guys can give me suggestions if you're listening.
Please do.
But listen, like, here's the problem with rash guards. This is a side tangent, too, dude. That's my job on the show. I'm the side tangent guy.
Totally.
Some of them are cool. And then I like wild stuff. I got like wild colored shoes and stuff.
Way too far.
But some are way too far, dude.
Way too far.
I don't want to wear like the wackiest wackadoo rash guard, but I also don't want a boring one. Like my shoes are rainbow colored. I like some spice. Yeah. But man, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of middle ground on the rash guards.
Yeah, there is kind of that extreme. It's either like super conservative and just plain Jane, or it's like
wild as shit.
Where did you find that? Like,
you show up and you're like, bro, you look like you're dressed for Easter. What are you doing? Yeah. So I need rash guard recommendations. Yes. Cool ones that are fun, but not too crazy.
Not gimmicky. That's the thing. That's just like too much.
As far as your question though, like
with uniform policy. So I'll throw it.
It's a tough one. Go ahead.
We're kind of a Gracie Baja gym.
Yeah.
Kind of.
I'm gonna get. I would say we're an affiliate.
I don't know,
gym,
but we're not officially. Yeah, we're affiliated, so we have relations with that. But like, you can't go to Gracie Baja and look up Contact Sports Club, but you're not gonna find it because we're not officially.
I think that's the perfect amount of.
I'm okay with that.
Right.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
But not treading too deep on that subject. Yep. There is very much a uniform policy there. And, like when we all get together in the big events, like everybody busts out the Gracie Baja rash guards and they put them on for the promotion ceremony. I've given up on this. I just wear my black gi anyways. Yeah. But like, how do you feel about that? Like, it's not just Gracie Baja. I'm not going to pick on them. Like, there are other gyms that are
for us it is, though. That's why.
For us. It's our experience. Yeah. But there are other gyms out there that are just like their standalone, their own gym. But they still have. Yeah, you must buy our uniform. You can't train in any other uniform. You have to buy it from us.
Dude, I don't want to say any names yet again, but do you ever see the ones that are like their gym's a certain color, then all their gis are a certain color, and it looks like David Koresh or someone's gonna come out and they all are gonna drink Kool-Aid. Like, it's crazy.
It's a little
town.
weird.
So devil's advocate, like, I do understand being on a team and what looking like a team means and everything. For me though, I agree with you, and I would rather have matching gis specifically for our gym, but also that would be too much too, because listen, we live in a tough climate, inflation's through the roof. Like, to ask somebody like, listen, you got to dress a certain way. That's rough, man. That's private school material.
That's what I don't feel like. I feel like you're telling people how to spend their money.
That's rough.
And it's like, I don't dig that.
Yeah.
Like, it's my thing. I want to do it my way. And I'm all for team stuff. This kind of bumps up against, like we talked about before. If you tell me I have to, I kind of don't want to.
Yeah.
But if it's there as an option, like my Contact Sports Club hat.
Love our hats.
I love my Contact Sports Club rash guards because it's just there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I want that because I want to be part of my team. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't have to, but I want it.
You know what it should be? It should be kind of like, wear whatever you want. And then we also have a little merch table. And if you want to get some team gear, that's dope too.
If you guys all want to kind of get together and
that's
have
kind
of
what we do, other than on those affiliate days.
Yeah.
Which are rough, man, because you can, like I said, like, everybody's struggling. Everybody has bills. Like we don't live in like, you know, the most prosperous times, but like, you can go on Amazon and buy, you know,
an elite gi for like $30.
I was just going to say elite or, you know, whoever. Hawk's a cheap gi if you're looking for a cheap gi.
Yeah.
But super cheap.
I could be okay with a uniform policy if there is a like intentional competition team. Right. And there's certain people who are on that competition team that are going to go represent.
Makes sense.
They should be part of a team. They should have some unity together because it's important.
Right.
But like, I really don't like uniform policies when it comes to brand new people. I don't want to tell somebody you have to go spend $150 on this gi specifically or 200 on exactly our gi. Like, I don't care. You don't know if you love jiu-jitsu yet. No. I'm not going to put that pressure on you.
Well, and I mean, like, yeah, dude, it's just
go get
someone walks in today. Whatever. It's like, dude, it's a week until Christmas. Yeah, you're gonna have to spend $200 more.
I'm gonna need you to drop 200 before you can come back to the next class. Like, yeah,
dude, that's part of being welcoming. Is do not and dude, like it's kind of like a common courtesy. Like I would never do that to somebody in real life,
right?
Like I certainly wouldn't make them feel bad. And like we live in an area where they're like a lot of people struggle. A lot of people
they do.
This is, you know, and
I would rather that extra money to blow on their hobbies just because they want to.
No, and I would rather them have a slightly better life and no freaking gi than, you know,
right.
That's rough, dude.
Yeah, I don't care if you show up in a pink Hello Kitty gi.
No,
just as long as it's sick. Clean, man.
Yeah,
we'll have a fun laugh and then we'll roll. But like, just wear a clean gi. I don't care what kind it is. That's me.
Someone send him a pink Hello Kitty gi.
Please do.
Yeah, for Christmas.
A5,
baby.
I will rock that thing, man. Oh, it's on. All right. Couple more. All right. Never ask about your rank.
What do you mean?
What do you think about that? Sometimes
never ask
that
who?
Policy. Like,
the professor?
You can't ever ask your professor about your rank. Like,
oh, that's a tough one, dude. That's a tough one. I think you should be able to address whatever you want to address. Yeah. If you go in there with a bad attitude and you're like, dude, why am I not a blue belt yet?
When am I getting my blue belt?
Yeah, that's rough. Like, don't be a dick. But like, if you want to address like something and you're like, hey, I've been working really hard and you know I've been working hard and I mean, it's a tough thing because you know what it's like? It's like at work. If we had to go to our manager and say, listen, man, like, you know, I've been picking up extra responsibilities.
Right. Yeah, going to bat for yourself.
And it's tough to do. It's a lot of anxiety, a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
But like, just like sometimes you need to ask for a raise, I don't think you should be punished for asking. Maybe they'll just explain to you why you haven't.
Yeah.
You know,
it's
hard to get promoted at our gym. And I don't think like it's for any malicious reason. It's just like we like you said, we have a tough program. We've got a tough room, and it's like, and we also have people who do it just for exercise and older and younger and everything. Right. But like, no one hands out promotions, and that's okay. So if you want to ask, I think you should go ahead and ask.
I mean, to me, it's like you said, like, don't be a dick about it and just like be demanding and belligerent. But it's like, there's no reason like any athlete should be able to go to their coach and say, hey, coach, what do I need to work on? If you phrase it that way, it becomes something constructive that becomes, you know, a good tool to build better students, to build better relationships between professors and students or instructors and students, right? Because like, there's no reason you shouldn't be like, hey, this is where I'm at. Like, what do you think I need to continue focusing on to keep moving ahead? Like, because you don't want to get stagnant in jiu-jitsu. You don't want to just get stuck with, oh, this is what I do and I just keep doing it and someday I'll get ranked up. That's not how it works, right? But like, there's some extreme places out there, and thank gosh we don't have one of these kind of places. But like, if you ask, like, they will literally set you back. Like that coach will go and they'll mark in their file like, well, that guy's just earned himself another year before he gets his blue belt because he asked me about it. It's like, that's, you know, one of those things of building bad culture like that. Like, don't be like that. Be welcoming, be loving. Like, if somebody came to me and asked me, what do I need to do to work towards the next rank in judo or in jiu-jitsu, I'd be like, oh, this exactly. Right. What are you good at? What do you need? Like, I'm just going to talk to you and tell you.
Even if you don't know personally, you could find out through that conversation.
Let's roll.
What do
Let's figure this out.
What's
the harm in that? Like, I want you to get better.
No, that's some more of that toxic, like, and this is like, it's that running thread of like leaning too heavily on this made up tradition and you know, too much. No.
Yeah.
No.
It's one. Yeah. It's
Conversations are good.
There's this reoccurring theme.
Yeah.
Of it, and it needs to go away.
Yeah.
It won't go away if we don't talk about
Yeah.
it. But all right, couple more.
Okay.
Gauntlet / Shark Tanks.
Stupid.
Gauntlets like belt whipping.
Ridiculous.
It's unacceptable.
Yeah.
In my opinion, like. There's still some people out there that have gone through it and will say like, no, I want to get whipped. Like I like it because I went through it.
It's a tradition.
I like it. I'm like,
stupid.
I don't care if you like it. Then you can sort that out with your significant other.
Listen,
outside of
people,
jiu-jitsu. They can whip you with their belt all you want.
There's people that love hazing at fraternities, and that's also stupid.
It is. Very
Get out of
stupid.
here with that.
Then they're done that one, man.
No, that's like.
Nope.
There are other ways to celebrate your promotion, and
let's
just
celebrate,
silly.
not
that's just
like.
silly.
Yeah,
and also, that puts a lot of people who don't want that in a very uncomfortable position.
Right.
Whether by age, sex, anxiety, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like, no, dude.
No, you don't need that pressure because then you get people that quit, and if you get people that quit because they're too afraid to go through whatever that ritual is, then you have less training partners.
That's why so many people quit at blue belt. They get promoted and whipped, and then they're like, I'm out.
I'm out of here.
I'm out of here.
How about Shark Tanks? You know what I mean by Shark Tank?
Yeah, well, I think for a competition, that's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm about to go to like...
no, I mean like for promotional purposes.
Oh, for promotional purposes?
Yeah, like promotions.
I mean, I'm not... If it's consensual shark tanking, like if you're like, hey, we're going to do a shark tank, and I don't think that's a terrible thing.
Do you think that has that same effect of like, what if there's the timid white belt over in the corner and they're watching
if it's a requirement,
that's...
Are you saying it's a requirement?
Well, that's what my question is like... If you like it and you're like, okay, I'll do it. But like, even if it's not a requirement, that person kind of feels like, I can't say no.
No, I don't. So if I was going to a difficult tournament and you're like, hey, and you were just like, hey, do you want to do a Shark Tank? Me and so and so and so and so. We'll switch every 3 minutes. We'll run 6 guys.
Very good for training.
Great,
purposes.
let's do it.
Yeah, very
good.
Good
as like a hazing type thing, stupid.
Yeah,
no,
it's rough with that. I think it's one of those things of like, it's cool when you're at that promotion thing and like maybe you just got ranked up, and like if you're ready for it and like you just want to go bang, go hard and get some rolls, like go for it, But like once you get tired and you're done with it, just be like, no, I'm done. Yeah, like I said previously. Say no anytime you want. Yeah. You don't need a reason. But
also, if you get promoted, we roll like you always do in jiu-jitsu.
Right.
And then I'm like, hey, Mike, you want to roll? And you're like, sure. And then I'm like, hey, do you want to roll? Hey. And then when I'm done, I'm done. So it's kind of useless. It's kind of redundant. Because
that's what I feel. Like to officially call it a thing and like make it a thing it's hazing.
Unless I'm competing in 2 weeks and I'm like, Mike, I need this. Let's do it.
Right. If I want to empty my gas tank and find out what do I have at the bottom of the tank.
Yeah.
And what do I need to work on? Okay.
Yeah.
But promotional stuff? No, I'm not for any of that hazing crap. Like if you've worked hard and you've earned whatever rank or accomplishment or just recognition for what you've put the work in to do, there shouldn't be extra things. No,
you don't have
like
to
you have to
show
show up at
right.
this event, or you must go here, or you have to do this first. Like no, you've done the work, you've earned it. Here you go. We love you. Good job.
Completely
awesome, man.
agree. There's nothing else to prove. You don't have to do whatever.
Yeah, belt whipping,
Shark Tank, anything.
Well, how about this is one that you hear about, mat enforcers. It's very much one of those unspoken things of it's like sometimes it's kind of spoken, but it's not official. It's not like somebody walks around with this little lanyard around their neck like this. I'm the mat enforcer. You know what I mean? Like
right.
What is your opinion on mat enforcers? Are they needed?
I don't know. That's a grayer area for me. If someone comes in and they're a super bully and I don't know, man. I mean, conversation is always better, right?
That's what I feel. Like, I mean, if you're running a legit business, like you just need to go have a conversation with that person and be like, you're being a dick. You got to tone it down if you're going to be welcome here. Otherwise, like that's not how we do things here.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to go beat them up without talking to them just to show them a lesson or something. Like,
right.
It's kind of childish, isn't it?
No, if you roll with them and you get the best of them, they'll know where they stand anyway. You don't have to intentionally bully anybody.
Yeah, but nobody needs to go over to
bully the bully. Like,
no, yeah, exactly. That works, right?
Yeah.
Nobody needs to go over to the mat enforcer and be like, Joe, go rough him up.
Dude,
like,
open conversation in jiu-jitsu. Talk to people Tell them what you're comfortable with. Ask them questions. Like that's where it's at. The conversation. That goes for so many things.
Life
as well.
Communicate. Talk. Humans, people.
Yeah.
Okay. Last one. Never wash your belt.
Dude. I'm going to let you answer, then I'll answer.
This is all right. I'm a little ashamed to say this, but I was told don't ever wash your belt.
Okay.
And I didn't for a long time.
Yep.
I now understand that's very wrong.
Okay.
And you're going to grow staph and nasty stuff. Like you can harbor all kinds of gross shit in that thing. Like just wash your damn belt.
Dude, you want to know something nasty?
Yeah.
I have never washed my belt. Dude, so I wash all my stuff. I'm not the stinky guy as far as I'm aware. In fact, if I'm home first, I shower even before and after I go to jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Clean all my stuff, clean my gis. I just never throw my belt in the wash.
You should do it.
We'll
telling
see.
you, fresh belt. Nice.
Not out of tradition,
Not
though.
in the dryer.
Right.
Wash it in the washing machine. Right. Don't chuck that thing in the dryer. Hang it up.
I finally got tired of hanging gis everywhere, so I started throwing them in the dryer, and now all my gis are too small.
I dry mine.
Do you?
And they don't shrink anymore.
There must be a critical point at which they don't shrink anymore, but it's too small for me now.
Don't use heat. You got to put it on the lowest heat setting or no heat and just like air tumble it.
Yeah.
That's the way. You wash it, you stick it in the dryer, just let that air circulate it.
Well, we've learned things today, Mike.
Yeah. But wash your belt. Like you're not going to wash away your experience and your stripes and all you're not going to be a lesser jiu-jitsu person because you washed your belt.
I don't do it for tradition reasons. I don't know why I don't do it. I just don't do it.
It's one of those old school things that just was a thing.
I didn't even know it was a thing. I just don't wash my belt.
Yeah.
I wash everything else.
It's funny because now I'm seeing like I just went and I was on Toro BJJ, and I was looking at their belts and stuff, and they actually say underneath it, like, yes, wash your belt after every use. They're like, it's good. It can hold up to tons of washings, and it'll be good for years. Like, just do it. So they're actually like, belt manufacturers are going to the point of like telling people like, yes, please do it. So wash your belts.
Well, listen, I gotta go.
Tell us, what do you think?
Yeah,
do you wash your belt?
Let us know. I gotta go home and wash my belt. We're gonna get out of here. Thanks for hanging out with us today, as usual. Good stuff on the way, as we discussed.
Yeah, good stuff. Lots of good stuff to come.
Lots of good stuff.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
I'm Ryan.
Fun. Mike.
We'll see you soon. This is the toe hold. Oh, Shaka, dude.
Shaka. See you next time.